In this video, I'm going to speak about UID changeable cards. If you have seen all my previous videos on RFIDs, all videos were about programming or using the cards. So this video will be something different because I'll not be speaking anything about programming. This is all about talking about these UID changeable cards. So first of all, what are they? So these are the RFID tags where we can change the UID. As you are aware, most or in general every RFID tags UID are not changeable, whereas in this case you can change the UID. If you look at some of the documentation on these tags, they claim that these tags are compatible with the existing tags, like having a similar structure. You can buy these tags from internet, and there are many softwares, there are many blogs that explains you step by step and how to do this type of UID changes. And these are also very cheap to buy. So if you go to eBay or probably Amazon and type UID changeable, you get so many listings here, and sometimes these tags are also called the Chinese UID changeable tags. It's probably because these tags are made in China, I suppose. And as you can see, the price wise, a pack of 5 costs you £4, so it's not very expensive. Like for example, a pack of 10 costs you around £5. Okay, now some of the listing also come with a few instructions on how to change the UIDs. As you can see here, it speaks about so many things. I've not gone through this. They all look pretty straightforward, but I never tried this. I found a simpler way of changing the UIDs. I'm going to show that soon. And there are some libraries. I'm going to use this particular library. This library is a very popular one among RFID and using MFRC522 data. And there's a nice blog as well. There's also a device called Proxmark. I've never used that. Probably looks like you can also change the UIDs of these type of tags using a device called Proxmark. Next question you might ask is, what are these tags used for? I think the answer depends on to whom you ask this question. So I'm a software developer. I find it very useful in scenarios like replacing any lost tags, because most applications use the UID as a primary key in the database table, and how difficult it is to change the primary key in the database table because you may be having so many files based on the UIDs. And what if one of the user lost his card? So the easiest solution would be to replace a new tag with the same UID. So I find this is one of the very interesting application. And for me, if I have to test any software and if I have to test it using thousands of tags, probably I will go with a few hundred or 100 UID changeable tags, and I can keep changing the UIDs just to simulate having 1000 tags. And if you ask me personally, I don't use these tags. Most of my project are all based on the MIFED S4 EV1, because they're supposed to be very, very secure tags. For others, this is like a fun. Some people can play with changing the IDs and something like that, and it's also a good knowledge. You can claim that you are able to change the UID, and so it's so many things you can find this used for. Would like to know is how to change the UID. So there are so many ways to change it, but some of the well-known methods are you can use a Arduino and MFRC522. So MFRC522 is a RFID reader writer, so you can use that with any microcontroller. You can also use the Arduino with the PN532 reader writer. So it doesn't have to be Arduino always. You can use any other microcontroller like Raspberry Pi and other things. And as I said, I keep hearing this Pro Max, or it could be Pro Max or Pro Mac. Okay. You can also do this using some well-known reader writers. If you got a reader from ACS Romnik, you can do that. If you look in internet, you will come across this something called backdoor commands. Okay, so looks like this refers to some specific commands or command pattern which you have to send to the RFID tag in order to make these changes. So I'll be showing you how to use a library to make changes or to change the UID. So I have bought few tags, UID changeable tags from eBay, and I'm going to play with that. So first thing, you have to make the connections. I'm not going to spend time explaining the connections because there are so many videos, and I have got my own videos as well explaining how to make SPA connections. So because this particular library, what I'm going to use requires or works for the MFRC522 and Arduino. So you have to have this reader writer and this Arduino. So you have to download the library, and you have to open the library, and the library, most Arduino libraries come with the examples to try, and one of the example is for changing the UID of this. So I'm going to take you to the website, and we'll discuss a way to get these libraries and what to do with that. So the first thing you need is the Arduino library for MFRC522, and this library from Miguel Balobo. So this is a very popular one, and I've used this library since so many years. In fact, I learned to use MFRC522 using this library. So you have to download it. You can download the zip files. You can download from here, and if you open these examples, there are so many examples here. You can say access controls, change UID is what you'll be interested in. Very similar to change UID, something related to that is fix bricked UID. And if you open this example and the code is well documented, and it's just very straightforward. And I've already downloaded this. I'm going to run the IDE and just go through this example and see what it does. So I've already downloaded this library, and which is here, and as you can see, this is exactly what you saw on the GitHub. And I've also made this folder like Arduino projects, MFRC522 libs as Arduino IDE workbook. So I'm inside the Arduino IDE, and I'm going to open I'm going to show the preferences. I always change this sketchbook locations, and this is where inside this location you will see the library folder, and inside library folder I've extracted that Arduino library. If you go to the files, If you go to this files and examples and scroll down and go to MFRC, these are the examples you get along with the library. We are looking for the change UID. This is a nice explanation here. It says example to change UID of a changeable MFRC tag. Okay, it also says something on MFRC tag as well. So, but keep in mind you cannot change the UID of a MFRC tag. And here is the connection. This is a very straightforward standard connection for SPI, where you'll be using, I've used exactly the same connections here. We've got pin number 9, 10, I think I've used pin number 8 here. Okay, 8, 10, 11. See, 10, 11, 12, 13 are the standard SPI connections, whereas you can use any pin for RST. Okay, then this is an example here. Here you got set your new UID. The new UID you can change here. You just have to run through that. I'm going to spend in later part of the video explaining what these does. Basically, I'll be going through and see what even I'm a bit curious to know how exactly these things are done. So for that you have to look into the function called MFRC set UID. Probably after we see this, you'll come to know what this backdoor commands means. So I'm going to make the connection. I'm going to show my Arduino everything, and let's give a try and see what happens. So at the same time, you also need to use this one more example called, just to make sure the UID is modified. Just go with the always try this with a new tag. Say you can use either a dump info, or you can use something called, just go with the dump info. So this basically goes through all the 16 sectors. It also shows you the UID. And okay, so let's make this the connection and say I'm just going to make connect exactly like this. I'm going to use the RST pin as 9 and SS pin as 10. So I've got my Arduino and the MFRC522, and I've made the connection exactly what the documentation says. I got pin number 9 and 10 and all those SPI 4 pins. So I've got a pack of 5 UID changeable, and first let me compile. I'm going to run this example called dump info, and if you already use this library, dump info just throws out the content of the entire tag. So I'm going to compile it. Make sure you got all this setting right, the port is right, and also have the board set to Uno. You can also try on a Mega or Nano or any other versions of Arduino. So I'm going to upload. Then let's go to the serial monitor, and it says if you see this message, it means it's working, the connection is correct. If you don't see this messages, make sure you got this MOSI, especially the MOSI and MISO lines are a bit confusing. So I'm going to try a new tag. I'm going to try, and as you can see here, it has dumped the entire tag, and this is what the tag of this UID sorry, this is what the UID of this tag. Sorry for that. Okay, so we are going to change now. So we just have to remember this was the original one. I'm going to copy it, and next we'll go to the other example. So that's UID changeable, and I want the new tag to be something different. Probably, let's see what is the tag here. So this is what the tag is, and I'm going to change. Let's try to run this program as it is without any changes. So after we run this program, we should see this, the NuTie D, AD, B, EF, as the value of this tag. Okay, I'm going to compile. So upload. Okay, let's go here. Okay, there is a bit of warning here. This example overrides the UID of your UID changeable card. Use with care. Okay, I'm alright with that because this costed me only 4 pounds for a pack of 5, and it's a bit of a fun as well. So I'm going to place it here. Okay. Okay, so I finished that. Let us see what exactly it has done. So the card did not respond to 0A halt and new UID and contents. So activate the backdoor failed. Okay, looks like it did not do for the first time. I had this problem. Try the second time again. I don't know, somehow the first time it failed for me a couple of times. Okay, now we should go back. Looks like it has done, because we know that the block 0 of sector 0, this is where the UID is. So what this program has done is, if you see the second part, that basically this worked for me second time. So if you see the messages here, this is the current value of the tag. It says wrote new UID, or this is a very positive message, and it says the card UID is this, and after that it tries to dump everything. So let us close this app and go back to the, we know it already worked, but let's give it a try with the dump info program. So go to compile. So if you, sorry, we know what the tag was. Okay, so let's try this. So look at that, the tag, the UID is the one we replaced, DE thing. So I got few UIDs with me. Let's try one or two UIDs and see that we understand how to use this software. So I have grabbed few UIDs from my collection of tags, and let us try. I'm going to try two of them. So I'm going to try this time with the 2.6. You have to keep in mind, there are some letters or some combination hexadecimal which cannot appear as the first byte, and it's EF and CY C5. Okay, so I'm going to try this. So compile. Okay, all right. So as you can see, the first time it fails. I try second time. Yeah, second time. I don't understand why it fails for the first time and works the second time. So as you can see, the tag, sorry, the UID has been changed now. Let's go and try one more. It's fun, isn't it? So E2, want to try E2 349903. Compile. upload. Let's try to get this working for the very first time. I don't know how to press, just try. Oh yeah, look at that. So we got it done first time this. Okay, so as you can see here, the tag is changed. I'm not very sure whether I can give any combination. I say A1, try A2, A3 and A4. So looks like it depends on how quick or how slow you bring this RFID tag into this MFRC reader writer. They wrote the new ID. Oh sorry, looks like it didn't do anything. Let me check here. I don't think oh sorry, I just done the compiling. I did not upload it, so that was my mistake. Oh, excellent. So this thing worked. So we changed the tag to A1, A2, A3, A4. Okay, and that's all I got in this video. Next video I'm going to go through the program and let's understand how these type of things are done, like what is this the backdoor command is, and finally I will have one more video on how to do this using the PN532.